What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I am Calais. If you're new here, what is up? Hola, welcome to the channel. Today I'm here to talk about fume events. Now, like, this is something that's becoming a lot more frequent as of as of lately. It's been happening a lot more often, and this is just something I want to talk about because it just literally happened today, and sometimes you just never know like what happens. So an odor event is when you have any kind of weird smell or anything like that in the cabin, and it can happen during taxi, takeoff, or landing, or cruise, like at any time during flight. Fume event is when you have, it's still a weird odor, but the fume events is something that will affect your body because it's fumes, and you never know exactly what's happening at first. And honestly, it's different for everyone. Like, it's literally different for everyone. The smell is different. It just depends on who you are, pretty much. Because today we had, like, people say it smelled like gym clothes. I personally say it smelled like a rotten egg or something like that, where it doesn't smell good. It's not a normal cabin smell when you smell it, and then once it starts to affect your body, you know that it's probably fumes or something like that. So today when we were, and the crazy thing is it happened twice on the same plane, and the first, okay, let me just go through it. I'm going to tell this story time and then tell y'all, like, what to do if this happens to you. So today we were going from Charlotte to Newark, and then Newark back to Charlotte. We just had a regular turn for the day, and then we were supposed to be done. Well, when we started our descent into Newark is when we had the fume event. Everything was normal, regular and everything like that for the taxi, takeoff, and cruise. It's just once we started descent, there was a strong smell that came from the back, and it made its way through the front. And when we told our captains about it, they thought it was just an air conditioning pack, so they turned their pack off and used the second one. Now the thing is, when you smell something like that, of course you're supposed to report it immediately, but you're definitely supposed to check or make sure you're in tune with your body, because if anything changes, you know that you have to get checked out immediately. So we had our flight attendant B in the back. She started literally during descent, got so nauseous, she was throwing up and everything. And once we landed into Newark, we let maintenance know, we let the captain know. And the thing was, I don't think that the flight attendant was new, but our captain was like super senior, and he didn't really believe, like, he didn't take us seriously. And then it was a cabin full of girls, so I'm guessing thinking like we were over exaggerating or whatever. But like, we knew she did not feel well, and she wasn't really fit to fly back to Charlotte. But the thing is, the captain is, she can say, no, I don't want to fly, I want to go to the emergency room. But when the captain comes back and he's like, what did it smell like, and she was telling him and everything like that, he was like, well, I think that it's really just becoming a bigger thing now because everybody's scared of it, and they're over dramaticizing, making it more dramatic than what it is. And he's like, I'm not trying to say that you're being dramatic or anything like that. It's just, some people get in their brain that they have this fume event, and then they make themselves feel sick. So he was trying to make her feel like, it wasn't as big of a deal as she was saying it was, because like, she honestly did not feel well. Like, even once we landed, she couldn't really, that happened. And then we're in Newark. They are the worst gate agents in Newark. So literally, like, can we board, can we board, can we board? And we're like, we're trying to make sure she's okay. We have to have maintenance check out this pack and stuff like that. Well, once we get back to the front to talk to the captain, he's like, oh yeah, maintenance is going to take my word for it and defer the pack, and we're going to go back to Charlotte. Because I'm guessing he just really wanted to get back here. He wanted to get his day over with because it's supposed to be an easy day. And they were actually supposed to run tests or something like that with the air conditioning packs to make sure it wasn't a fume event. Like, nobody's supposed to be on the aircraft while they run these tests. And the maintenance just took the captain's word for it that it wasn't what it was, and he's not even in the back to experience what's going on at the time, which is like even worse, because you don't know what's happening. You don't really know what's going on to these, what's happening to these flight attendants. You're just going off your experience of what you think a fume event is. So Anyways, you know, the B flight attendant, I guess she was more so nervous to stay in Newark and not have, you know, a crew or anything like that with her there while she's going through all of this stuff. So she's just like, you know, I guess I'm gonna tough it out and get back to Charlotte, and once we get back to Charlotte I can go to the emergency room. So during the flight, again, she really just stayed in the back. We didn't want to make her do any work because you're not feeling well, you know, all of this stuff is going on. You can't really keep a tough face for the guests when you're out in the front. So like I took over, you know, briefing her UMs, doing the exit row, all of that stuff, because I don't really do anything anyways. I'm chasing, like, honestly I don't do anything during boarding. So I just took over like her duties, whatever. We made sure everything was okay, took off, taxi, you know, take off, cruise, everything's fine. Start that descent one more time into Charlotte, and like I smelled it first once we started the immediate descent, like initial descent, and I'm like, I asked her lead, like, do you smell that? And she was like, no. And then she was like trying to see if she could smell anything, and then she's like, okay, I smell something, but I don't know if it's me, you know, now it's me over exaggerating, just smelling things in the air. So then we called back to our C flight attendant who's in the back with the, you know, B flight attendant who's not feeling well. We called back there, and we didn't even say anything. We just like, hey, are you guys good back there? And she's like, oh yeah, I guess. Hang up the phone, and she immediately calls back and she's like, do you guys smell anything? And we're like, I mean, yeah, I smell something, that's why I called back there. And she was like, oh yeah, because Stephanie smelled it. Or she was like, oh yeah, because Brandy, we'll say Brandy is her name, but she's like, because Brandy smelled it right away before you guys even called back here, and I just don't know because I'm sick and my nose is stuffed up, so I don't know what I'm smelling. So we called the captain back, let him know, and he was just like, we're like, we're smelling you know, the scent again. We can smell it through the cabin. And he's like, oh, you can smell it again? And we're like, yeah. He's like, okay. And literally that's it. And then the thing is, another guest ended up not feeling well. Like she started getting nauseous or whatever during final descent. That's when we're about to touch the ground, and she's trying to get up to go, you know, use the bathroom, and she can't even do that because we're about to touch ground or whatever. So all that happens, and then once we land into Charlotte, the pilots literally just run off the aircraft. Like, they didn't let maintenance know, they didn't let the other pilots coming on know, they didn't file a report or anything like that. And it's just like, I don't think that he really took us serious when we were saying those things. So I actually ended up, once I get back to my hotel room, I filed a report about all this stuff. I used names, I let them know, you know, what happened at what time, and that it happened during both flights, because that's something that's serious. And the fact is that they're going to put that plane back out in the air after us. Like, there were people coming on there was flight attendants coming on the plane after us, and nobody said anything. Like, nobody said anything. And then we did let the flight attendants know as we were getting off, you know, what happened to us and what's going on with our flight attendants. But it's only so much that we can do with them not really, you know, listening to us, pretty much, like not taking us serious. Sorry, I'm thirsty. But yeah, it was just craziness. So like I said, I filed a report for everything. I wrote down times, I wrote down names of the pilots who weren't listening to us. Now one of our B flight attendant actually is released. she's not fit to fly tomorrow, so we can, you know, get home. So we don't know what's gonna go on right now. Our lead is not feeling well. Like, with having a Fume event, it's something that gets worse before it gets better. So right now, you know, she said she was lightheaded on the flight, but now she's saying she woke up, you know, her throat's hurting, she's feeling like hungover and stuff like that. So it's different things, and it sounds like it's getting worse as it goes along, and that's something that's really scary. I did tell her that she might as well go, you know, to the emergency room or urgent care to get checked out too, just in case. I don't know what's so strong about like my immune system or what, but I just feel fine. Like, I don't know. But anyways, okay, things to do if you are to experience a Fume event. So first of all, like I said, the smell is different for everyone. It could just be an odor event, no one is, you know, harmed or anything like that. First, just always let your captain know, and always stay in tune with your body. If anything changes in the slightest, immediately let the captain know, and make sure everyone else knows, just in case anything was to happen to you. Always file a report. Always always file a report. make sure that you speak to maintenance, or you know, have whoever check it out. And then also, so make sure you're in tune with your body. Now the side effects are pretty much the same as like a lot of other things. So you could feel nauseous, you can get headaches, you can get lightheaded or short of breath. These are things that might happen once you know you're having, like once you feel like you're having a fume event. Once you smell that thing and that starts to happen, that could be something that happens. And it could happen pretty quickly, like rapidly, or it can just slowly happen to you. It's just, you have to make sure you're staying in tune with your body and everything that's changing with you. And just always just be careful. If you smell anything, like anything, you can always call other flight attendants. And don't sell, if you don't know for sure, don't just immediately say, hey, we're having a fume event. Just say, you know, hey, can you walk past this area, or are you feeling okay, or do you smell anything, just to make sure. But you don't want to be like, we're having a fume event, like right away, because then you're gonna scare people and like make them nervous as heck. Not everybody reacts the same or as calm as some people are. But yeah, it's just scary, and you gotta really just keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. I just came over here to tell y'all, tell the story. There's like a preventative measure just to make sure everyone keeps their eyes open for anything that can happen in the air, because you just never know. You just never know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.